Shalom, all praises to Yahweh by Shem Yahushai. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Shalom to the elect. By Shem Chakwadash. My name is Jacobo from Plaintables Camp. The apostle here is reviewing a video from another elder in Texas. Remember to say 144. Palantir, Meta, OpenAI, and Thinking Machines just had their executives sworn into the U.S. Army Reserve. So I guess that seals the union between their companies and the government. That's quasi-fascism, it sounds like. So let's listen in.
Of a more than an hour-long video. See, we don't got to make super long videos because pretty much we're reviewing everything. We taught you everything. You know, people that come on and say, "Could you tell me what this means? Or could you break this down?" Everything, anything that you're gonna ask us, we already did a video on it. So the first thing you should do is go to the particular whatever GMS videos, YouTube pages you have. You can just go to one, your favorite one. It might be this. It might be running say 144. And I'm gonna do a little experiment type thing. I'm gonna go to the main page, the home page, and I'm gonna ask a particular question about a particular subject and see what comes up. And I'm pretty sure it's in there. And if it's not, and you ask, and I'm positive he will put the video up. If he didn't put that particular one video that you're looking for, some other GMS brother, elder, whatever, put it up there. So anyway, let's stop right here. So let me go ahead and make a video. This is from Yahoo Finance. It says Palantir, Meta. These are all tech companies, and I may go into each and every one of them, or may go into one or two. Meta used to be Facebook. Well, we found out when they changed the name from Facebook, I was going to say Feta. When they changed the name from Facebook, what's it, Mark Zuckerberg, which is a J, you're going to find out these people are all J's. They control this shit. All of the Netflix, the Googles, all this communications, media, entertainment, BET, all owned by so-called J's. That's why when you say anything about him, well, you own it, you're anti-Semite. He just told the truth. Your woman said, "Do I look fat in this dress?" And you say, "Yeah." You ain't gonna get nothing later that night, because women don't like to be told. They like to be flattered. They like to be lied to. Anyway. So I got up to here. Matter of fact, you know what I'm gonna do? Let me go ahead and play some of this. Let me see, where am I at? Okay, he went in the sleeper cell, which I don't want, because they're saying because of the attack on Iran that there's sleeper cells, and you know, I mean, I don't know if you know about the definition of the word false flag.
Right. The
so we're gonna let it play.
Reaction to this, as your President Trump has sold America out to these big tech billionaire, AI companies, setting up the MOTB system. How?
Right. So now these are major tech companies. When you go to Revelation 13, it speaks about their miracles and their wonders. Their miracles and their wonders. It mentions miracles and wonders. That's technology. You see a robot that looks like a dog, they can put fur on it and make it look like an actual dog, but it's a robot. You say that's a wonder. That's a miracle. They tell you, "Oh, you can never see again," but
yeah, they can do that with like bugs, like mosquitoes or birds.
If we put a microchip in your brain, you'll be able to see again.
Or they can put a microchip in your brain, and if your spine is doesn't send the signals to your limbs, can bypass your spinal cord and send those electrical impulses to your limbs, and you can walk again.
And here's we have a list of people that have got this, so you can watch the videos. You can go meet them. So you're gonna meet the guy. Was you blind? Yes, I was legally blind. Here's my document. I was actually blind. Here's my video, walking around bumping in the walls, and I got a chip put in me, and now I can see. So that's gonna say, well, damn, that's a wonder. That's a miracle. Their miracles, their wonders, is technology. So now, these are major companies, multi-billion-dollar companies, which specialize in high-tech things, right? Remember, these are companies, right? Commercial companies, whatever you want to call them. You got the president, which is the executive. When you have a merger of companies with the state, which the military is part of, this government. The military, the government. America is broken down into three parts: the legislative, executive, which is the president. The president is the highest general. That's why George Washington became president, because he was the highest general. Then he became a president, which he's over. You have a general of a 5-star general of the army. You have a 5-star general of the Air Force. So the president is the general over all the military forces, right? Which is goes back to the Roman Empire, right? people became Senate and council and even Caesars because they were rich, and they gave money to the Senate, and they paid off a couple of people, and they got rubbed elbows with the military brass of Rome, and they would say, we want this guy taken out. Here's X amount of money. They take him out. Most of them guys that would go into history, the Roman, the emperors in Rome that were taken out, they were taken out by the Praetorian Guard, which is the military. So the head of the military, which is under the Caesar, they would say, we got to take this guy out. He's a madman. And they would either set him up, or they would say, we're coming to get you, and he would get away, get caught out there. So there's a lot of history in that, going back to ancient Rome. So bring it up to date. Oh, the Roman Empire, the military, the politics and so forth, merged with the super rich. And when you bring the government and the super rich and companies together, that's called fascism.
Yeah, it's quasi-fascism, meaning near or close to it. But it really is fascism. But they'll try to be hyper specific. These elements have to be here, and that element has to be there. Well, and it's not really one unit. We just have cooperations and agreements and contracts. But we know it is. It's quasi-fascism. All right, that's what it is. That's why they got sworn in. They're executives, and none of them, to my knowledge, are served in the military. The executives. So it's definitely quasi-fascism. It's very close to
it. That's fascism. So this is fascism right here.
And anyway, it doesn't even matter. The point is, what is the objective? All right, is to build a database on our behavior so they can track us and predict what we're going to do next, or where we're going to be next, and eventually make a move and make arrests and plan to manufacture different products.
It says, and I dare somebody to say, this ain't a fascist state. This ain't a fascist state. Okay, you come and confront me on the comment section. I'll give you the receipt. Anyway, so Palantir, Meta, OpenAI, and thinking machines, which are robots, just machine to make big decision. IGY, Donald Fagan, what a beautiful world this would be. Just had their executive top brass in these companies sworn into the U.S. Army Reserve, and it said they were, they all became lieutenant colonels, if I'm not mistaken. So it says here, United States Army Reserve Center. See, there's a technical part to these rockets, these missiles. That's the scientists create these missiles, which came out of Germany. You had the Russians and the U.S. fighting over the German scientists because they had the technology. Those are the sons of Timon. The wise are the Edomites. And the head family of the Edomites, the head vampire, are the small hats. And these guys are all small hats if you look at their names. So let me do this. You know what I said? I said I was going to read Revelation 13. We normally go right to the point, the 16th verse. I'm going to go, you know what? Let me go ahead and do this. I'll read the whole, let's see how long the chapter, 18 verses. Let's go ahead and do this. Do it this way. 12. And of course, I went to chat and I put in, this is what I put in. But chat knows about the Israelites. GMS, Hebrew Israelites, and the mark of the beast. That's what I put in. And we're going to read this. We're going to go through this.
Right. So when you are sworn in to the military, this is not a normal swearing or enlistment. This is called it falls under specialized direct commissioning program or a civilian service appointment, not the standard enlistment. All right. There's a special pathway for professionals with critical civilian expertise, such as doctors, lawyers, chaplains, and now cyber tech specialists. Our participants are commissioned as officers, second lieutenant captain, without going through enlisted boot camp. All right, so I'm gonna get the title for that for you again. It's called, it falls under specialized direct commissioning program or a civilian service appointment. All right. So that's how the tech company is going under. So they have special military contracts, such as Amazon. Let's see. List companies that have this status. Excuse me. List companies that have this specialized enlistment. We got Meta, Palantir, Meta Facebook, Palantir Technologies, OpenAI, Thinking Machines Lab. All right. Is this a new enlistment type? Name all special enlistments going back to 2010, unless 2025 was created. You know what I'm saying? List the companies. Only list the companies and their dates that were specialized enlistment. You know what I'm saying? All right. List companies before 2025. Okay, so this is apparently the first year that tech companies were used as special enlistment, where specialized enlistment or direct commissions into the U.S. military in this manner as Detachment 201. Okay. Give me a list of companies that are not tech companies predating 2025. Well, they're saying there are currently no publicly known non-tech companies whose executives has received this specialized enlistment or direct commission under Detachment 201 as of 2025. Okay. What about before 2025? Before 2025, no non-tech company had executives directly commissioned via a program like Detachment 201. The U.S. military did conduct direct commission officer and cyber DCO direct program. Okay. So is it more so individuals are sworn in under this special program? Okay, that's what it is. Yes, direct commission programs, including the newer ones like Detachment 201, are primarily designed for individuals, not companies. The military doesn't enlist companies. It commissions or enlists people based on their professional expertise. All right, so this is the first time where these major companies have actually, the executives have been sworn in under this special program. All right, normally it's individuals. How far does this program go back? Enlisting individuals. Oh shit! Oh, 1861. Okay, so they pretty much always has done this with individuals. But so let me see. So 2025 was the first year the U.S. military enlisted companies under this special enlistment? Yes. Okay. So normally it's individuals. All right. So you got some thorough education there.
Okay. Okay, the beast from the sea. And we know that that's not talking about the Antichrist. It's not talking about Lucifer. Well, Lucifer's another name for them. Just means light bearer. So, and Christians don't understand this at all. They don't understand it at all. Okay, so 11. Revelation 13:1. I may even go to the NLT. And I stood upon the sea and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy. That's the Roman Empire. 2,000 plus years ago. The eagle in 2nd Ezra 11 and 12. I'm not going to read this whole thing. And I saw one of his heads as it was wounded to death. That's Rome, and his deadly wound was healed. That's America, starting with Christopher Columbus coming out of Spain, and all the world wondered after the beast. Right? They said, who was able to make war with the beast? And that's what they were saying back in Rome. They were saying that's a powerful nation with their legions, and they worship the dragon, which gave them the dragon represents the ancient. They followed the ancient Roman system. As a matter of fact, the forefathers said we're going to build D.C., the District of Columbia. We're going to liken it. The architecture that we're going to use is Roman architecture. If you go to Maryland, there was a place. It's no longer called Rome. It used to be called Rome, Maryland.
Yeah, they're invoking the spirit of their ancestors, the Esau.
Before they built it up, it was called Rome, Maryland. And the plot that they built DC on, you used to be able to find it, but you can't find it. It's hard to find now. Everything, it was marshes, right? Marshland, rather. And if you wanted to build, you would go to the government agency that has control over the marshlands, and they broke them up into lots. Now, the lot that they build DC on, when you go downtown, when you see it looks like Rome, the lots have lot numbers. The lot number was 666. Revelation 13 and 18. And they worship the dragon. That's the Roman Empire. Their system is based upon the Roman system, the Senate, the president. The word president really means the first. The Caesar was also known as the first. Like you have the first family. Well, Caesar had a family. This is the first family. This is the wife and the children. That's the first family. I'm not going to go all into that. But it's a Latin word. I believe it's premier, something to that effect, which means the first. And they worshiped the dragon. They went by the system, the Roman system, which gave power unto the beast. And they worshiped the beast, saying who is like unto the beast, who is able to make war with him. And that's what they were saying about the Romans. That's why anytime somebody spoke out against the beast and came up against them, they got taken down and killed. Or sometimes there were conspirators out there. Because all nations are wary of enemies from within and without. And that's why the Constitution, when the president swears in on the Constitution, which that's against the scriptures, it says defend the Constitution from, how's it go? It says from enemies within, without, but there's another way they say it. I forget how they say it, but I swear to uphold the Constitution from all enemies, foreign and domestic. That's what they say. So when it says foreign and domestic, meaning an outside enemy, another nation, domestic, I believe the word was domestic, foreign and domestic, is an inside coup. So the president's supposed to be able to stop that. It's called sedition. It's called, what's the other word? Sedition is the main one word in insurrection. So it says, and we would be considered not insurrectionists, but seditionists. Because we're saying that there's a force that's going to take this place down. So that's an outside threat, but it's a spiritual threat, and it's based upon the scriptures. So if we go before the nobles, we're going to tell them, well, this is a spiritual takedown, and this is the Bible. You guys swearing on the Bible, you believe in the Bible. Well, in this Bible, it says the Most High is going to take this place out. But before he takes this place out, he's going to set up his prophets. We're the prophets. It says, and there was given unto him a mouth speaking great things, Daniel 7, and blasphemies, disrespect, and power was given unto him to continue 40 and 2 months. And he opened his mouth and blasphemed against the Most High, to blaspheme his name and his tabernacle and them that dwell therein. And they pretty much said, the hell with the real Lord. We're going to teach the people that there's a God and angels and Israelites, but they're all going to be white. And his name is Jesus, and the Most High's name is God. He's a white man. And it was given unto him to make war with the saints, the Israelites, whether they be of the elect, whether they be of the prophets, whether they be of the tribes. And the part that took down the saints in America, Gad and Reuben and Issachar, because they're part of America too. Texas is part of Mexico's connection to Mexico, certain parts of California. So it says, and it was given unto him to make war with the saints that took us and enslaved us, right? And when did this start happening? It happened over 2,000 years ago, and it happened again. When Christopher Columbus came over, the first act that he did, he said how beautiful and kind these people are. They would make good slaves. Why would you say, if somebody helps you, you know, I don't know, you're in a car that's on fire, and somebody busts the door open, he pulls you out, and then you pull out a tool on a guy and you rob him. Why would you? But that's what this guy pretty much did. You know, they helped him. They showed him how to, you know, use the soil because they couldn't. They were dying. God helped him, man. And the first thing that this guy did was he said, "These are great people. They're loving, kind people, and they'll make good slaves." That's the way the devil thinks. But then they still, guess what? They still celebrate Christopher Columbus Day. Now, if somebody stood up and celebrated, we should have a Hitler Day, they'll say no. Why? Because the story goes, we know the story. But Christopher Columbus is a hero. And by the way, for you clowns out there, he's not Italian. He never was Italian. He was a Spaniard. He was a Spaniard, inside joke. It was given unto him to make war with the saints, the Israelites, whether they be the elect, whether they be Judah, whether they be the kingdom of Judah or the kingdom of Israel. Northern kingdom, southern kingdom, they were because Esau went throughout the Americas, Canada, the U.S., Central, South America. So he got all the saints on this side. Then he colonized the saints that was on the other side of the world. And to overcome them, and power was given over him, over all kindreds and tongues and nations, and all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him, whose names are not written in the book of life of the Lamb slain from the foundation of the earth. So if you an Israelite, you don't have to. That doesn't mean you're in the book of life. The ones that are in the book of life are the elect. If you were originally in the book of life, your name will be blotted out of the book of life, meaning you were never of the elect. If you add or take away from the scriptures, you'll be receive the plagues that's in the book, Revelation 20 or 22, and you will be blotted from the book of life, which is the second death. You're gonna wind up in the lake of fire, which is a Babylon the Great on fire, America, U.S., and not a hell. Stop listening to Nate talking about there's an actual eternal hell. And you guys that are under Nate, you guys should grow a backbone. You should grow a backbone and tell them, nah, that's bullshit. Because ain't no way if I was a part of that, that's the day I'm like, what did you just say? Nigga, what did you just say? That there's actually eternal hell. What are we turning into Roman Catholics? They would have called me to council, they would have lambasted me, they would have browbeaten me, and they would have kicked me out of school, then I would have started my own thing. A lot of you guys don't have backbones. That's just it. You fancy Nate as some sort of god. By the way, was it 2023 Passover when you rode in? I think it was 2023 Passover. You rode in on that horse. That place where you rode in on a horse where the Passover was. If I'm not mistaken, maybe it was an outside thing, but if you went in there among the people and that's where you had the Passover, you defiled that place. I'll come back and make a video about that. And all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him whose name is not written in the book of life, slain from the foundation of the world. If any man. So from the first verse to the 8th verse, or the 7th verse, talking about the Roman Empire. It's talking about the Roman Empire, right? And it's talking about the second leg of the Roman Empire. Delaware was held. So in saying all that, what does 9 and 10 say? Somebody put you in captivity, you're gonna go into captivity. Somebody kill you with the sword, they're gonna be killed with the sword. So they just got the angel, the spirit, just got finished telling John, talking about the Roman Empire, both the old Roman Empire and the new and the revived Roman Empire. And then the angel says, you know, you can see they put you in slavery. You see they killed you with the sword, right? Guess what? You can just do the same thing to them. Talking about the image of the beast is a picture of Caesar Borgia. And you can speak too. I'm gonna show you. He bring out a movie, the greatest story ever told. With Max von Sydow, and he starts speaking. He tells Satan. Satan says, "What are you doing?" This is from the movie, the greatest story. Satan came to him, looking all dark, and saying, "What are you doing?" He said, "I am fasting." Neighbor say, "See, he's speaking." Stop listening to these imbeciles, man. Which had the wound by a sword and did live. Wait a minute, did I miss something? Yes, I did. Not really, because I did go into. Let me come back. Okay, the first beast came up from the sea. The second beast came up from the earth. Are we all on the same page? And I beheld, and you brothers that are veterans, you know this Revelation 13 backwards and forwards. Remember, we got a lot of newer people all the time. And I beheld another beast come up out of the earth and had 2 horns like a lamb. A lamb is docile, and he spake as a dragon. You see a lamb, and all of a sudden it roars like a lion, or fire shoots out his mouth. You know, what kind of lamb is that?
Yeah, that's America. Now DJ is trying to change the immigration laws and change parts of the Constitution. But it has been said that America is righteous and pious, and they're here for the benefit of America, which really is the benefit of the people in power. But a lamb, 2 horns like a lamb. That's a political system here in the States. But he spake like a dragon. All right, that's the orders he issues out that are becoming increasingly draconian.
It came up like a righteous, benevolent system, but it showed you what they really were about. They were dragons. It spoke like dragon. Dragon goes back to draconian law. There was a guy in the Greek during the time of the Greek rulership. There was a leader called Draco, and whatever. If you look at the sun too long, they might kill your ass. I'm just giving you that as an example. It was strict laws. Okay, let me see. And they're doing that in America too. Right, it says exercise the first beast. I read that. 13 in sight of men, and deceivers of 12 means of miracles, technologies which he had power to do in the sight of the beast. Satan who dwelt on the beast did live, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, meaning they were to resurrect the Roman system again. There's a spiritual reason why DC, because they were talking about the capital of the U.S. should be in New York, which unofficially is. But you got the UN, World Trade, the One World Trade.
This is why Esau is in love with sodomy and the LGBTQ thing, so they can bring back Rome. Because Rome, you had monogamy, one married to one practiced intimacy with a child. All right, that's your monogamy there. All right, so they had to bring back Rome. They had to relax these laws. All right, that's part of it.
Trade Center and all that stuff, right? But let me read this again. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast. That's the Roman system. The Senate, the president, which is by the way, the president of the United States is also known as commander in chief. The word emperor means commander or commander in chief. You look it up. That the image of the beast, which is the system, should speak, and that's Daniel 7. Had eyes of men and spoke great things, Daniel 7, and caused that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed, should be cut off. As far as not getting in bed, that's in Revelation 17. But there's going to be a time where they push that microchip. Some of us are going to be put to death, so you got to get in the mindset that you might be one of the guys that get your head chopped off. Revelation 20 and 4. I'm sorry, please forgive me if I sound like a broken record, but this is for you newer people out there. Because to this day, could y'all do me a break? I don't understand Revelation 13. Well, this is about the 79th time I did a breakdown on Revelation 13. And he called this all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, around the planet, to receive a mark. That word mark, that's why you got to go into the root of the word, the truth of the word, the study of the truth, which is etymology, etymology meaning to study of truth. To get, you understand the word by the root of the word, right? The word for mark is the word charagma. Charagma is a physical thing that is etched into you, in their right hand or in their foreheads, in their brains. Neuralink. There's another company that was around before Neuralink, which is Neurotech, and a little bit more advanced than Neuralink. Neuralink is trying to catch up with Neurotech, although they don't speak about it a lot. Where they do the same thing, put brain chips in your head, if I'm not mistaken, and that no man might buy or sell. Literally buy or sell. That means a Snicker bar. You feel like buying a loaf of bread, which I don't eat bread. You gotta buy it. You got a used car. You don't want to trade it in with the dealer. You want to sell it on the open market. That's called selling. So there's going to be a time where you're going to have everybody's going to have to have a reader, a scanner. If you want to purchase a car, okay, how much? Okay, I'm selling the car for $5,000. You're going to scan the guy's chip, into your account, and it's going to go into your bank account. So 5,000 credits or cyber money will go into your system. So if you're a mechanic, you can't do weekend jobs and do side jobs. If you do, you got to scan the guy's. I charge the guy, $250 to put an alternator in because it was hard to put in. It took me 3 hours to do it. I had to take away part of the top of the fucking engine or whatever, which I did have a job alternator. The labor to change the fucking alternator was $250 plus. And the guy that I trust the guy, and he told me, he said, that's in the middle of that thing, that takes a lot of work. And I believe him because he'll break it down to me. He said, you see that right there? How long do you think to get to that, pull it out and put it back in? So sometimes you have, I'll be back, come back into the middle. You have a sensor, right? The sensor might cost $20, but it might cost you $300 to put the shit in. That's how they build these fucking cars now. It says that no man might buy or sell, whether it be a candy bar, a Tootsie Roll, a pair of Nikes, or sell, save he. You want to buy a slice of pizza, you're going to have to use that chip. And you're going to have to scan it. Or you want to buy 2 pizzas and Argentinians or whatever. We used to think that shit was healthy. Oh, this shit was crap. So you're going to use that, and we're going to see it. We're going to see it. That's when we start making videos on it. Guess what? They're going to start blocking, taking our videos down. They're going to hit us with technical strikes. That technically you're going off. That doesn't mean that. Stop calling it the mark of the beast because it's not. And if you do it again, we're going to delete your account. Because they did it with the sea ragamuffin, right? So we had to use code. So you're getting it now, folks, or the name of the beast, or the system, or the number of his name. The beast system is based upon the 3 6s. Steve, what's his name? Wozniak, what is his first name? You got Stephen John and something Wozniak. When they both put together, small hats, they both put the first computer, the Apple, together, and they sold it retail. And Wozniak had to come up with a price. And you know what he said? He said the perfect price for this retail is going to be $666.66. Then he said, why these 66666? He said, because I'm a mathematician and I like to use, repeat the same number.
Yeah, I did hear that. Let me, I'll look that up. How much was the first Apple computer sold for? The first Apple computer, Apple One, was sold for $666.66. Come on, man. Oh, this. How much was Apple computer sold for? So y'all can see it right there. I heard about this before. So look, that's they love that number. That's the number they in love with. And yeah, the apostle, you're killing it right now. I let him go a little bit more.
I like to go into 666, which is bullshit. Okay, this whole 666 system, the universal product code, which is on every item that you buy at the store and you scan, but that information is going to be put in your chip. Right? It's already here, y'all. So these guys, IUIC and ICPK and others are going to have a lot of explaining to do. And no man might buy or sell. Say if he had the charagma, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name, here is wisdom, let him have understanding, count the number of the beast for his number of the man, and the number is 603 universal product code. Then it goes into, let me do this. Let me go into the word marks. Okay, this is what I wanted. So this word marks, is the word kwai, which is the Hebrew equivalent to the Greek word charagma. Galatians 6:17. This is the Apostle Paul speaking. From henceforth, let no man trouble me, for I bear in my body the marks of, the word there is kairis, which is superior, Yahushai. So obviously this is Hebrew, this is Greek, 2 different words. I'm gonna show you what that word is.
Right there, I see it right there. We got no, it's not it. Stigmata, if I'm saying it right. Stigmata.
Marks, the word marks is stigma.
Strong's G 4742, stigma.
So let's go
stigma.
open it up.
The root word is stigma. The word that's actually inflected there is stigmata. Stigmata. They had a movie called Stigmata, I think in the 90s or 2000, called Stigmata.
Which stigma goes into the word six, and six means to stick or prick. You can only have sex.
And in that movie, like, I think it had something to do with the Cesare Borgia. And like things are bleeding a lot, bleeding hands is bleeding from the eyes. If you look at the previews of the movie, pulling this from memory, like relics and crosses are bleeding. You can fact check that, but stigmata is basically like blood or being pricked and the reason why you're bleeding is because you're being pricked or cut, and blood's coming out.
With a woman that's a virgin one time, once you cut into her, that you cutting her into her with your penis, which is a pretty much it's like a microchip going into her.
All right, we'll leave it there. You watch the Apostles video. It's about an hour. Palantir Meta joined the military. Change coming to pass, and Revelation 11:2. 11:3. And I will give power to my 2 witnesses, that they shall prophesy 1,260 days clothed in sackcloth. All right. These are the 2 olive trees and the 2 candlesticks standing before the power of the whole earth. If any man will hurt them, fire proceedeth out of their mouth and devoureth their enemies. And if any man will hurt them, he must in this manner be killed. All right. That's Yahushua going to cover us. All right. Divine intervention. We're those prophets that were prophesied to prophesy about the implant chip, about Revelation 13, about the totalitarian system, about our people being gathered in the West. And we came from the East, about who Esau is and who the biblical Jews, who the biblical Israelites are. That's what the modern day prophets have been commissioned to teach. All right. So I'll leave that there. Hope you edified. Shalom.